Hello friends, it's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums with another Show Me How You Practice video. Now today I'm going to be talking about sigils, as this is something that somebody had asked about in one of the other Show Me How You Practice videos. I think it was the one where I was discussing how I dress a candle and how to make a quote-unquote fixed candle or candle magic practices that I use. Now, I'm also going to link in the description my how-to / DIY blog post that I made several years ago on sigils and some of my recommendations, as well as like things that I've learned along the way. So with sigils are essentially meant to be almost like a concentration of an intention. It's like a shorter way of like using an affirmation or using an intention and kind of making a symbol out of it. So there's different methods that you can use. And I'm going to talk about like the three here that I think are the most popular or the easiest to kind of start with. Now, the first one is going to be the number box, and that is going to be where you basically are lining up the alphabet with specific numbers. Now, if you're someone that practices numerology or, has learned a little bit about like numerology, you may be familiar with a number box. And so basically, you would assign a number to each letter. And I'm going to do some examples on the back so that way you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about with that. Method number 2 is going to be the Saturn square, and that is where the numbers are like this. So you can use the number box, use the Saturn square, and kind of develop a actual sigil out of the way that these numbers and letters will kind of come together. And then method 3 is to use a letter wheel, and that is basically all of the letters are kind of distributed around this wheel, and then that's what you would use to make your symbol. So it seems a little bit more complicated than it is, but I'm going to talk about a few little things on the back, so you would set your intention for the sigil. So here I have the example, I am protected, and you're going to remove all duplicate letters and vowels. So here I kind of lined it out with MPRTCD, and that is I am protected, right? So, and then we also have the numbers that correspond with that. So if we go back to the front, we would know that M is letter 4, number 4. With P, we have the number 7. So do you see? So now we have the numbers 4, 7, 9, 2, 3, 4, and that is going to be my actual, like what I'm going to base my sigil off of. And so here we have, you can use any of the methods to kind of create a sigil that feels right for you. You can also flip, reverse, overlap, or add other symbolism, glyphs, or letters that speak the intention. This is what I love doing in the sense of I think it's a lot of fun, because then this is where you can kind of utilize your own creative freedom. So here I use the Saturn square, and this would be my I am protected sigil. It's very simple. It's not anything crazy. So, and if I were to use the letter wheel, this would look like this. So two different symbols that have their own kind of vibe, but they still give me that I am protected. Now, if you can add your own flourish, or you can combine both, which is something that I really like to do. So I added symbols from astrology to portray the ones in my home. And so here I have combined both of these for I am protected, and then I added other symbols, astrological glyphs, to kind of add in an extra layer to kind of protect the people in my home and to kind of connect a little bit more of the energy of I am protected, in the sense of I want everyone in my space to also feel protected. So I included influences from both methods in order to create a sigil that is unique to me. So it seems a little more complicated than what it is. Now, if I were to do a protection spell or a protection candle, I could write this little symbol on the glass, or I can carve it into the wax if I'm using like a little spell or chime candle. I can add this symbol to different things. I know people will like use like vinyl to like cut things out. If I were to do that, I could do like a vinyl cutout of this and kind of use it on my items. So sigils are a great way to, again, kind of compress a statement or an intention without it having to be like just like I am protected, I am this or whatever. Words have power, but so do symbols, because we are the ones that initiate and kind of co-create with the universe what we feel is significant to us. I mean, if we just think about all of the symbols in history that mean something to us, like a cross, or an ankh, or the Eye of Horus, like all of these different things have their own symbolic meaning to us in so many different ways. And while one thing may mean one thing to somebody, it can mean something else to somebody else. So if I were to use an astrological glyph, to me, it could be a representation of myself, but it could also mean something to somebody else to kind of give them a clue as to who I am or what I believe in or things of that nature. So I think that sigils are a great way to connect in different ways, especially when you're trying to do magic. So one of the things that I did in my, what's it called? My manifestation kind of, what's it called? What is this called? My journal. I can't think of words today. Is I used a sigil that I hand painted on here in my actual manifestation like journal that I like to kind of use. Now, I used a lot of the different, and you can see there's that influence of using a Saturn square, and then I used another one over here to kind of add my letter wheel one as well. So I added both with the intention. I think it was like something about having to do with manifestation or whatever, or, something affirming in that vein, because it is this manifestation journal. And so I use, the colors that I love, green and pink. And then I kind of added my own flourishes, my own symbols, my own things to kind of help me connect a little bit more. And again, by using something so simple as like using the number box to kind of create the numbers that you need, and then kind of going from that to use the Saturn square, or even just using a letter wheel initially, will help you to create your own sigils in your own way. I have used these for candle magic. I've used them for, I like to protect the windows and such, or doors in my household. So I would create a sigil, sometimes not as complicated as the one that I did on here, on the back, just because this is a little bit more intense. So I'd probably use one of the simpler ones, and I'll use like ash and a little bit of water, or a little bit of salt and water, and kind of have the water dilute the salt, and then kind of use the symbols on windows or doors as a means of protecting the space as well. So I feel like sigils are a wonderful way to kind of compress and utilize a lot of different things in one way. I think it's also fun to layer sigils as well. I don't have an example of that here, but to kind of layer the different sigils if you have a lot of different intentions. And again, you can use like symbols from like runes, you can use symbols from astrology, you can use any other kind of glyphs, or hieroglyphics or things like that. Whatever is something that is significant to you, the more personal, I feel, the more powerful, the better, because it's like you're adding your own kind of thing to it. So I think it's been a lot of fun. I don't think I have other ones in here. I do draw a lot in here. And so it is just fun to kind of, or I have like this one too. I forgot I had that one there too. So this is another one. And they look very different, but they have similar energy in the sense of I kind of just took my time, wrote it all out, figured out what flow felt good for me, and then used this page to kind of add in my own kind of energy to it and to co-create something that feels like it is going to allow me to connect to the intention I had for my actual, whatever it is that I'm using. So this is for this manifesting journal that I have. So I focused on manifesting and abundance and things like that. But you can really create a sigil for basically anything that you may possibly need. So let me know what you guys think about sigils. Is it something that you find is easy? I guess I could have done like a little example of making a sigil, but I don't have any paper over here that I would want to use. And let me know what you guys kind of think about what sigils represent for you. Do you just like to kind of find sigils that have already been pre-made? I think those are fun too, but again, I would much rather prefer to kind of do my own thing and do something that feels a little bit more harmonious with me. So let me know what you guys think about this video. Is this something that you're interested in? I'm trying to kind of control or contribute a little bit more to my channel with like this Show Me How You Practice kind of series that's actually kind of taken off in all these other directions. I thought it was just going to be focused on like tarot and oracle and cards, and here we are, and I'm talking about all these other different things that I also have a lot of interest in, but that's on being a Mani generator. Mani Gen person for those of us that do human design. I think one of my next videos I'm going to talk a little bit more about astrology, and I'm trying to figure out how that looks like doing this. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this continues taking me. It's been a lot of fun. One of my first loves is to teach, so I do love to teach. And I would love to continue kind of sharing different things that like speak to my heart. And as always, you can always check out my website and my blog. I have a how to DIY section. And I really love to share what I've learned and what's helped me along the way. So I hope you have a good one. Please take care, stay safe, and as always, make good choices. Bye.